Welcome, everyone. We are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Monday. Oh, wow. Well, Twitter is twittering. You look at that, eh? The app be apping. Anywho, well, I guess we're not going to be on Twitter this morning. Let me just close that. I'll post a replay link for them. Anyway, good morning to everyone, or grand rising, however you want to greet us all. If the eye offends, ponder this question for a moment. There's a couple of them I have to ask. What does the eye do? It sees. That's its job. It just sees. What interprets what the eye sees? Your memories interpret what the eye sees. So then where is the offense? The offense is not with the eye, is it? Because I know in the scripture it tells you if the eye offends you, pluck it out. This is one of the reasons why I say to you, it is psychological. If you are looking at something and it does not look the way you want it to look, then what must you do? Turn within. Because the eyes are only telling you there's something in front of you. It is your memories that tells you what that thing is. So if you are looking at that thing and it offends you, it is not the eye that is offending, but it is the way your memories are telling you this thing is. So in order to change the offense, one must look within their own selves to see where the offense is. And that's where you gouge it out from. Within your memories, within your thoughts, within your awareness. I'm going to say this to you again. If your eye offends you, what we tend to do is we want to gouge it out. Oh, I don't like that. We argue and we fight with it. But it's not the eye. The eyes are telling you, oh, look, it's red, it's blue. It's a car, it's a truck, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. That's what the eye is saying. There's something. But the moment you can name it, you're naming it from where? You are naming it from your memories, from your past experiences. That's where the problem is, not with the eye itself, because the eyes only see, the ears only hear. But our perception is based upon our memories and what we have learned. So if something you are looking at offends you, you've got to go within your memory banks. Oh, indeed. And when you go within there, you can now look at it and go, oh, that's why I'm offended. Not because of what I'm looking at, but what I think about what I'm looking at. This is why we turn inward. This is why we don't fight shadows on the outside. Remember what William Blake says. The world is but a shadow. Einstein said the same thing, just using slightly different words. He says it's an illusion, but an ever persistent illusion. So If you are encountering a situation today, this moment, your solution is within. Your solution lies in how you see it. How do you change what you see? We change what we see by first recognizing that we do see something and determining whether that thing is good enough or not. And if it is not, then what would you prefer to see and experience that would be better? Well, then you name that thing. You say, okay, this is what I want then. And so, what is the next step? You see, the thing you're dealing with presently is a memory. So, if you're dealing with a memory, the only thing, remember the law of polarity. Things move left to right, but always in the same nature. You are dealing with a memory. So, you must create a new memory. To create a new memory, you begin to experience within your imagination what you would experience in reality. In, in other words, you are telling yourself the new memory that you want to recall instead. But in order to get a new memory, you've got to see it in your mind's eye. Meaning you have to experience it in your mind's eye. That's how memories are formed, by way of experience. You've done something. So you have to do it in your mind's eye. You have to do it in your mind's eye before you can do it on the outside. And I know we keep thinking that things happen from the outside. No, things happen within and are projected to the outside. Day in and day out. And how do you remind yourself of this so that you don't think it's voodoo and hoodoo and whatever doo-doo I'm telling you? If you have a seed in your hand, a bulb, tulips, they come with bulbs. If you have a seed in your hand, something has to emerge from that seed. Yeah, but Angela, the seed is only there because the thing was there. Was it? You don't plant the fruit, do you? You reap the fruit. You plant the seed. So every time you look around you, you will recognize, okay? You will recognize, even though a woman is pregnant for 40 weeks, there was a seed that was planted and life comes forth from the seed. Your thoughts that you are aware of are seeds that you have planted, whether you planted them deliberately or unwittingly. You planted them. So, in order to have a new experience and to give your eyes something different to see, you've got to experience or plant a seed in your mind's eye so that it can grow and be projected towards the outside so that you can interact with it. That's it. It won't go the other way. Life comes forth. Life comes forth. forth, which means it has to be within something to come out of it. And the thing that is externalized is the thing you experience. So, to have a new experience, you must plant a new memory. How do we plant a new memory? The same way we've always planted new memories. The moment we encounter a situation, what's the first thing we do? Humans, the first thing we do, worst case scenario. Oh my God, what if this happens? What if that happens? What am I going to do? Trust me. How am I supposed to fix that? That seems so impossible of a hurdle to overcome. We're planting seeds right there. So, how we test ourselves is to remember, wait a minute, I'm in control. Well, that's one. Two, if you're in control, what are you going to do now with that control? You're going to plant the seed based upon the experience that you want to reap. You want corn, plant corn. You want to have raspberries? You can't plant a blueberry bush. So if you want health in your life, you cannot persistently entertain the worst case scenarios every time you get an ache and a pain in your body. But you must always remember that the ache and the pain is there due to what? A particular persistent thought. Well, remember the law of cause and effect. If you have an effect, aka pain, what's the cause? We look to the outside. Oh, I sprained my ankle. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. But never once do we go all the way back to our mind's eye to find the cause. The cause is always going to be what you are mentally aware of being. That is the cause. But you see, we can't reconcile that part because we ask ourselves, well, why would I do something like that to myself deliberately? Why would I do that to myself? Why would I go and encounter somebody that I really don't like? Why would I encounter poverty? Why would I encounter ill health? Why would I do that to myself? We do these things to ourselves and by ourselves because of the things we mentally entertain. And when we mentally entertain them, they make us feel a particular way. Let me tell you something. That argument that you're having inside your head with that person, where are you having it? You're experiencing in imagination what you would experience in reality if you came across the person you said you did not like very much. But I'm sitting here today and I am saying to you, you want a new job? You want a new career? You want a home? You want a beautiful relationship? Well, then begin to experience in your imagination what you would experience in reality if it were true. And we say, what? Oh, but that seems so fake to me. How would that possibly make a difference? The same way you are already making a difference. It's the same. It's the same thing. You are already doing it. You're just unaware that you're doing it. And thus, when you look out into the world and you find that the eye offends because it is looking at something you deem offensive, the thing in itself is not offensive. It is how you perceive it to be. Hmm? So, to change what offends you, you must go within. Always. You must go within because the offense is coming out of you, not the other way around. life comes forth. Remember when Lazarus was buried for 7 days? Was it 7 days? Memory serves me correctly. It was 7 days, and it was not a pleasant smell. The smell was offensive. Yet, Jesus stood at the front of that tomb and said, Lazarus, come forth. He had to call life out of. So Lazarus might look like he just walked out. Nah, he didn't just walk out, he was called out. Life comes from within. As within, so without. As above, so below. Remember, above is within, below is on the outside. So it is not your eye that is offending you. It's not what you're looking at that offends you. The offense lies within your bosom. I just love saying that phrase. It lies within your bosom. The way you think about a thing and identify with the thing is what is creating the offense. Some people can look at roses and go, oh, ugh, roses. They're nasty. Probably those are sour grapes. Probably because they've never gotten roses, or they got roses and they were deceived. But the rose itself is not offensive. Your boss is not offensive. Oh, but Angela, you don't know them. You don't know them, Angela, so you can't say my boss is not offensive. Whatever is coming out of your boss's mouth is only offensive because you have a memory attached to what he is saying. Period. Another way of putting it is, you are in a state, your boss is in a state. The state will always influence how you see things and how you behave. Can't get around it. So you've got to change the state. What is the state? The state is where you are at mentally. And we get there because we imagine things. We see things that only we can see inside of our mind's eye. We have these kinds of arguments within ourselves, these kind of inner conversations, and we speak them over and over and over and over again, all day, every day. Doing what? Implanting a new memory within our minds. That's what we're doing. Or, as the scientists will tell you, a new neurological pathway. But you see that neurological pathway that you're laying down in your mind's eye? That is what is offensive. Because it's causing you to see in a particular fashion. It's causing you to behave in a particular fashion. And we mistakenly label the thing as offensive when it is the perception of the thing, how you see it, what you think about it. That's where the offense is. That is what one needs to uproot or to gouge out. And we gouge it out by beginning to experience in our imaginations what we would experience in reality. That is what we do day in and day out. I trust that today makes sense. Let me put it to you in a way that, because all anybody can think about right now is, oh my God, there's an eclipse. Total eclipse of the heart, right? There's an eclipse. What happened with this eclipse, right? What happened? Somebody said, here's what's going to happen. Now, how do they know what's going to happen with this eclipse? It is only a speculation, but where two or more are gathered in my name. The name is what? Eclipse. Listen, some people have schools closed, right? What I'm showing you here, there's been a seed of fear that has been planted in the minds of people. It's a fear. Clearly, we've got people petrified. They're scared out of their wits for the unknown. But who rules you? I was in this one group and they said, well, Mercury retrograde is going on and it always disrupts communication. And I thought to myself, so if you didn't know that Mercury did a reverse, would you still have that same thought? Would you still have that same thought? Chances are probably not. But this person was adamant that, well, it's in retrograde and all these things are happening. And I proved it to myself. I'm like, dude, you have to see what you're looking for. You're all right. Relax. One always has to see what they're looking for. The thing that takes up most of your time mentally. Like, I have no idea what they're saying. All I know is allegedly there will be an eclipse. And allegedly, again, I don't know what's supposed to happen because I made it a point not to listen. I just know that, well, it's a what you call it, an astrological phenomenon, meaning something happens. This thing is happening on a rhythm. There's an ebb and there is a flow. That's what I know is happening. Beyond that, I don't know what anybody has speculated. And every time you turn around, there's a point to why I'm telling you these things. There's a trailer for The First Omen. Then there's another trailer. And I'm like, wait a minute. So there's only people writing horrors in the world? All we can think of to write is horror movies? Really? Then there's another one. The only line of the movie I remember is, yeah, but we're American. And they said, he cocks his gun and he goes, yes, but what type of an American? And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. And I'm like, what are we? You see, when I say to you to guard your hearts and your minds, I'm not telling you that because I'm bored and I'm an old cat lady. That's not why I'm telling you that. I am telling you that because once a seed has been planted, and you notice how the seeds that are planted are not just sprinkled out into the world. Oh no, they are accompanied what? By what? Fear. Fear and anger. Those are the two strongest things. We think, listen, I'll say it again. We know that love, the greatest of these is love. We know that love is the strongest thing. Oh, we do. But what do we tend to lean towards first as humanity? You see, we don't allow love to move us. We don't persist in our acts of love because we want to return on our investment if we love, right? But you see, fear? Fear will move you. So will anger. Those two things will move you in two different ways. Fear will move you towards what? Inactivity. It'll petrify you. It'll freeze you where you are. Anger, on the other hand, will rile you up and cause you to act. Okay? So when I tell you that this is relatable now to the story of the Tower of Babylon, Tower of Babel. There were one people with one focus. Just one people with one focus, one language, everything. And what did they do? Accomplished their goal just about. God came down and said, hey, no, 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 no. I see you. I'm going to disrupt you. So what are we doing now? You think we're doing something different? No. There's one topic on everybody's minds. Just one. And we're all sitting with bated breath, waiting for the worst case scenario we have already experienced in our imaginations. Where else are we experiencing it? Nowhere else. But we must see the evidence of what we have created collectively. This is what is happening right now. You can't stop the sun and the moon from their trajectories. They have an orbit. They have a pattern. They have a rhythm that they follow. And you can count it. Ebb and flow. You go from ebb to flow, and you will know when the ebb starts again because you can count in between. There's nothing I can do about that. That's its rhythm. I expect it to have its own rhythm because I have a rhythm. But when did that rhythm become something that was offensive to humanity? Somebody told you it was offensive. So if the I offends, it is not the I. The I only bears witness to what you perceive, to what you say, well, this is what this is what that is. That's what the I does. So if you spend your days riddled with fear, you will find that you will have your body respond with crippling things. Well, you're crippled by fear mentally, so the body must now be crippled by something else. I'm not speaking of people who were born with a particular ailment. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm talking about the things that show up in our lives that we bear witness to. So today, as you go through the day, as you go through your day today, where is your mind? What are you entertaining? What are you entertaining? The thing that you persistently entertain is the thing you persistently experience. We must always bear witness. We must always manifest. Remember what a manifest is. It's a document that shows you. So if you go to the plane or the cruise ship, there's a list. And it tells you who everybody should be on that boat or that airplane. A manifest. It is showing you the contents within. So to manifest is to see the contents of your own mind play out on the screen of life. It's not something that is woo-woo. It's not a fad. It's not the latest thing. It's not a trend. It is law. You plant corn, then only corn can manifest in your garden as you've planted. This is why one must reap what they have sown. That is the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. That is never going to change. Doesn't matter what kind of mood you get in. It is law. It is a governing principle. So today, if your eye offends you, go and ask yourself, wait a minute. My eyes are only seeing because I'm not blind. They're just doing their job. But what is it that offends me? Why does it offend me? And you will begin to see that it is something you have learned and picked up along the way. And so to change, first identify the problem. Identify the problem. The burr in your saddle, the bee in your bonnet, the thorn in your paw, whatever you want to call it. Identify it. And now that you've identified it, it is only inside of you. It causes you to speak a certain way, act a certain way, think a certain way. It is a mood, a state, but it is mental because the universe is a mental creation. So how do you change it? Well, after you've identified it, what would you like to replace it with? So if you say, oh my God, I complain like, oh, I do much. I don't want to complain anymore. So what do you want to replace that with? You want to replace it with giving thanks? Okay, then. So what's the difference between the two? How you perceive them. So if you come across something that makes you complain, remind yourself, whoa, hold up, girl, we don't complain anymore. Where's the beautiful thing we can comment about? And once you seek the beauty to comment on, you will find it. The same thing applies. If you seek the problem to complain about, you will find it. Because seeking and finding are lovers. They walk hand in hand. So much so you can't tell that they're separate. They don't even appear to be separate. They just move as one thing, seeking and finding. Because you cannot find if you haven't been seeking. So are they one or are they two? They're so intertwined you can't tell. That's the beauty of the law. That is why we cannot tell that the offense lies within us. Instead, we want to blame the eyes. So take a moment today. And as you hear the bowl, I don't know that you'll get bird song. He's doing pretty good. Right, handsome? You're doing so well. When you hear the bowl this morning, what is that thing that is so offensive to you that you want to gouge it out? That memory, that state. As soon as you identify it, now decide what you want to replace it with. Remember, it's only a thought, a persistent one. So what persistent thought do you want to replace it with? Find that persistent thought you want to replace it with and start to replace it. Every time you catch yourself with the old, go towards the new. Every time, until such time that the new becomes the old and you don't have to remind yourself to do it. You won't have to because you've become it. So you can only do what you've become. Let us take a brief moment to welcome everyone into the space. Twitter is apping, so we're not on Twitter this morning. YouTube and Facebook, Sugar Visions, Athania, Jeff, the Better Man. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, I see you. Fan base who's here this morning. Mansa, Terms and Conditions, Miss Ange, Ali is here, Fawn, Joaquin is here, Happy is in the house, Casey, Oracle Treehouse, Flo Smiles. You're a bad girl. She's got chicken legs. Because I was actually just talking to my rooster, for those of you who don't know, but I'm talking about you. Not with you. Oh, what a good boy you are. He is a good boy. So it's a big welcome to everyone who's here today. Let me see what's going on in the chat. CJ. But I trust today that as you go through your day, you will remember it is not your eye that is causing the offense. Your eye is simply telling you the offense is within. And that's where you change it. This world is but a shadow. Hmm? Just just a thought, you know. But that's why we practice every day, isn't it? We practice who we say we are so that we will end up doing. Hmm? I'm just getting the bowl. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. YouTube and Facebook. Sugar Visions, Asanya, Jeff, the Better Man, and the others who've not made themselves known in the chat. I love you. I will see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the lecture, the bedtime lecture, and also that little ticker moving across there. The link tree is in the description below to sign up for Manifestation Bootcamp. You can sign up as a singular person, or you can bring a friend and sign up under there. And I think the rate is reasonable. If you want to come as a singular person, it is $50. If you want to bring a friend, you pay $35, your friend pays $35. I think that's helpful. I think it is. It encourages us to bring friends. When is it? Saturday, April the 27th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when it is. Yes. So there's lots we're going to learn. It's hard, it's fast, but there will be a radical change of mental attitude. Well, there will be. There will be. But it's a good time to be had by all. So, and if you haven't gotten your money in for Barbados yet so that we can reserve our hotel space, that money is due on the 22nd of April. So if you haven't yet, if you have, I have it. I have it. And if you haven't, I don't have it. So we can't wait till the 22nd, right? That's our deadline. Let's not tarry. I don't want to lose out on our space, okay? So, because some people have already purchased their tickets. So, anywho, those are the announcements for today. And Little Bit, he says hello, even though you don't hear him. I can hear him and I can see him. He's right next to me, as he always is, my little booby. Anyway, much love to each and every one of you. Love you, YouTube and Facebook and fan base.